Gene Week, Gene Week, Gene Week. Yeah, it's Gene Week, baby. It's Gene Week, baby. For those of you who don't know what Gene Week is a week dedicated to literally just making jeans. I set a goal for myself, first episode, to be making one pair of jeans at least a month. So that's what we're gonna be doing this week. It's Gene Week, baby. So just for a quick clarification, every time I say that I'm gonna be making jeans, I don't actually make jeans from scratch. As much as I wish I could, I'm not quite there yet. That's kind of the whole point of this making pair of jeans once a month. So what I actually do instead of making jeans from scratch, I will just pretty much just make them wider. I'll make them into customs and I will make them wider. Just like these, all I do, to be honest, to these is put fabric in the middle just to make them baggier. Like these as well, but for these, instead of having fabric on the inside, I actually put it on the outside to give it more of a flare look instead of a baggier look. So with you seeing the jeans that I've made, you kind of get the idea of exactly what I do with my jeans. All I really do is just make them wider and make them into customs. I do want to start adding more of an extra material. I do have some cheetah print cotton here. I do want to add some like decals on it, maybe some back pockets. I do have some camo back pockets I can use to make just some like extra pockets on some jeans or whatever. So with all that being said, let's find some jeans here on my rack that we can turn into customs. Now the big question you're probably asking is, what exactly am I gonna make? I'm not really too sure exactly what I want to make. I do know I want to do something with these jeans right here. I think these jeans are sick, or at least the pockets are really sick, and I really like the way the stitching is on the inside. I'm gonna try to keep this. I'm just gonna try to cut it along the inside. I don't exactly know what I want to use to flare these or to make these wider, or which pair of jeans here I want to use to make these wider. So I do have to think about that right now. But I do know whatever comes out, it will be sick. So just give me a couple minutes and I'll figure it out. After some off-camera thinking, I decided to use these old women's Levi jeans. I think this decal on the front side is actually really cool. So I'm going to try to implement that, or I'm going to try to make that useful and try to use it as the inside flare, just to give it a little extra decal on the pants. And I think having the donor pair being lighter than the actual pair of jeans that we're going to be using looks pretty cool. Or when it comes to color contrast, at least, I think it looks really cool having the inside lighter than the outside. So that's what we're going to end up using, or this is what we're going to end up using. With that being said, now it's time to actually get into it. The first thing we need to do is measure how much of the donor pair we need. And then after that, we need to open the inside seams so we can allow this to be sewn onto the outside. After some off-camera work, I went ahead and opened up the jeans from the inseam, leaving an inch of material on the inside, 1.5 inches up there on accident. But I left an inch of material so I can actually sew on the inside of the material instead of the actual stitching. I really like the stitching that these pants have. I think it's really unique. So I really wanted to keep it and using it in the jeans that I'm going to be making. So I went ahead and just left an inch so I can sew on this instead of the actual material. And then I made 2 panels for the inside. So these panels are going to be on the inside. The next thing we need to do here is sew them in the middle, so whenever we put it together, it's all attached all together. Different outfit, different day. Today's a completely different day than the earlier segments you just saw. I am a little under the weather. I do have allergies. I went to a rag house today just to go find clothes to sell on my Depop. So if I do sound a little under the weather or a little nasally, that is why. So now that I have to sew these together, I'm actually realizing that I made a small mistake. I'll put a picture up here of what I was supposed to do. But usually whenever I do this, I leave a small piece of material at the top of it at the very end. So I'm allowed to sew it together without using the actual fabric being used for the jeans. So instead of using extra fabric to sew it together, we're just gonna have to sew it together with the fabric that we have. It shouldn't make too much of a difference, to be honest, but we'll see. Okay, boom. So now that I have these done, they line up pretty well. Now that I have these done, I can pin this onto here. The next step here is to pin all along the edges, front and back, so whenever I do start sewing, I don't have trouble keeping them aligned. So that's the next thing I'm gonna do here, and this is unfortunately the longest part, so I will show y'all once I'm done.
I put in a little time lapse here for y'all so y'all can see the pinning process of what exactly I do to pin the pants together. It did take me quite a bit. I believe it took me around 2 hours to do this, and I did run into a couple of issues pinning it because of my imperfect cutting, but overall it was really good. It just took me quite a while to do it.
So finally, after a couple hours, I got it all pinned down together. I do have some extra space up here I need to work around whenever I start sewing, and same thing here. It didn't really line up too well when it came to the alignment. Here it lines up perfectly, but when it comes to the back part of it, it doesn't align. But honestly, it might not even be that much of an issue. It'll look like heel drag, to be completely honest. So I might just keep it loose like this, but I'll see what I do whenever I get some. And boom, just like that, the jeans are done. I think these look so cool. So cool. So cool. These details in the front really make it stand out, and I really like them. I think these are really cool. I didn't record me doing this, but I went ahead and undid the, what is this called? The bottom seam, the whole seam. I'm not sure what it's called, but I went ahead and undid these, and then I did them back again just so they can fit better together, and just so it looks all like one pair of jeans instead of, like, you know, multiple. I did leave these because, you know, this is the era of imperfections, and these jeans are very imperfect. There are a lot of random little pieces everywhere, but I think these are so sick. I actually have to head to work right now, so I'm gonna wear these to work, and I'm gonna see if they actually hold up. If they don't hold up, hopefully hopefully they do, right? Hopefully I don't have to go ahead and change, but I'm gonna wear these to work to see if they will really, like, hold up in a real world environment in a real day. So I'll let y'all know after work, see how they hold up. So finally arrived home after a 7 hours work shift, and these jeans held up really well. I hope you can see how nice these actually look. I'll end up putting an angle closer, but they held up really well. I did not have any problems with any of the stitching along the lines or even on top, the under part. No problems at all. I did heel drag quite a bit. I don't know if you can tell, but my heels are, like, all folded up and shit like that. But hold on, let me get this better angle for y'all. There you go. Here's a better angle for y'all. I really just want to show y'all how nice these jeans actually really look. I'm actually really proud of how these came out. I wish they had more details on the back, but maybe I can add some. Not gonna lie, maybe I can add some. But just this front decal just adds so much to it, and I think these are really cool. So yeah, that's it for today's video. I made a pair of jeans for Jean Week. It took me, I'm not gonna lie, it took me a little longer than it should have. It took me a couple days to make these. I spread this video up in at least 3 different days. 3 different days it took me to make this video, but we got through it. We finally made these jeans after 3 days, and they look sick. They look sick. Please don't mind the mess that's going on in the background. I have so much going on right now. Everything's moved out of my closet because I'm finally moving. I'll probably be out of here within a week or 2, hopefully, and I'll have a video up about that, about me moving into a house, or not a house, an apartment. But yeah, I'm super excited for everything that's going to be happening within the next couple weeks. I've been working my ass off, I'm not going to lie. I have a bunch of clothes there that I need to be posting for my 20 items a week, and yeah, so I'm not 100% sure what the next video is going to be about, but whatever it is, stay tuned. Like and subscribe. Thank y'all for listening to this whole video and for watching this whole video. I really hoped it helps in some way. If you were looking for some sort of help on how to make jeans, I hope this helped, or maybe even inspired you to make some jeans. And well, I'll see you next week.